Today's webinar is focused primarily on the changes to the OMIP application, and this is, throughout this presentation I will be referring to the high-risk pools as OMIP, the Oregon Medical Insurance Pool, and FMIP, the Federal Medical Insurance Pool. My name is Linnea Saris, and I am a Program Development Specialist for the high-risk pools. The slides used in this webinar again capture the changes made to the application for the purposes of enrolling individuals into FMIP. This is a very short presentation, so we will have time to address questions. As Don Myron mentioned yesterday, there is one application used to enroll applicants into either pool. First, in order to be eligible for either pool, the applicant must be an Oregon resident. We define an Oregon resident as a person who is legally domiciled and maintains a principal place of residence in Oregon, resides at least 180 days each benefit enrollment year, and his or her personal resident income taxes are filed in Oregon. On the cover of the application, there is information to help direct the applicant to the pool for which they are eligible for. This is because there are two major eligibility requirements that are different between OMIP and FMIP. One is an FMIP applicant must not have had any creditable coverage for the past 6 months, and second, they must be a U.S. citizen or lawfully present in the U.S. Page 4 of the member handbook has detailed information on citizenship requirements. In addition to this, the applicant must have one of the medical conditions listed on the application or have been denied insurance by a company based on medical or health status or medical family history. If an applicant meets these eligibility requirements, the application is designed to direct them to the applicable sections required to enroll in coverage through FMIP. In the member handbook, the sections referring to FMIP are color-coded in red and the sections relating to OMIP are in blue. Section A, Applicant Information. I want to point out that the applicant must provide a Social Security number as requested in this section. If there is not a Social Security number inserted, then the application will not be processed. Within this section, you will see a box labeled OMIP only. The reason why is because FMIP does not allow dependent coverage. Therefore, dependents will not be allowed to include on the application, will not be allowed to be included on the application if applying for FMIP coverage. If an applicant wants to add dependents, then the dependents must each apply separately and meet all the eligibility requirements in order to obtain FMIP coverage. Section B, Health Plan Options. There are two plans to select from for those enrolling in FMIP. These plans are the Medical Deductible 500 and the Medical Deductible 750. They are similar to the OMIP Medical 500 and 750, except these plans are designed to meet the actuarial requirements in order to receive the federal subsidy. Please make sure the applicants select from one of these two plan options. Remember, there is no pre-existing waiting period for either one of these plans if the applicant is eligible for FMIP. Section C is the health conditions. If applicants are applying for either pool coverage and have one of the medical conditions listed on the application, then a physician must sign and date the bottom of Section C to attest the presence of any of the qualifying medical conditions. This is only necessary in the absence of a declination letter. If a formal declination letter is provided by an insurance company, then the physician statement is not needed, regardless of the applicant having one of the medical conditions. In addition, this documentation is not needed if the person is eligible for OMIP portability or has HCTC, Health Coverage Tax Credit, subsidy. For the Care Assist folks viewing in today, we have agreed that the Physician Care Assist form is acceptable for purpose of the physician statement. Please note, Section E is only applicable to those applying and are eligible for OMIP coverage. This section is useful for us to determine if a person meets the criteria for issuing credits towards the 6-month wait period. Producers and agents, please make sure this section is checked if a person is coming from other coverage and may be eligible for credits. Section F is statistical and eligibility information. This section is very useful for us when we are compiling data. It is not required to be completed, but it is very helpful and gives us a better understanding of the OMIP-FMIP population. Section G is affirmation, understanding, and disclosure authorization. FMIP and OMIP applicants must initial and date the two sections under the first paragraph of this section. This section has always existed in the OMIP applications. However, below is a new section pertinent only to the FMIP applicants, attesting that they are legally eligible for the FMIP program. This affidavit is necessary because we are not requiring proof of uninsurance or citizenship. Unless the applicant is lawfully present, If lawfully present, the applicant will have to attach one of the documents listed on page 4 of the member handbook. You can find the member handbook online under member information on the OMIP website. The OMIP FMIP application can be downloaded off the OMIP website, or you can email OMIP at omip.mail@state.or.us and request applications. The applications will be included inside the member handbook, which is a good tool to use when completing an application. Thank you for attending today's webinar, and this concludes our presentation.